Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 16th through December 20th. We're in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. We'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. We'll also talk about how we can use dividend payers and several option strategies to also generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So let's get started. Welcome RT, Carmen. Thank you for joining us in the chat today. Hope you're having a great day. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of December 16th through December 20th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. Our notes documents contain links to bonus videos, to the tools and resources we use to trade our top swing trading stocks, etc. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this trading week, titled The Federal Reserve Interest Rate Decision 2024, we would highly recommend you also view part 1, as that contains our market analysis, trading strategies, trade ideas for this trading week. We keep all of our Google documents with our weekly trading game plan notes in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1, as well as previous weekly trading game plan notes documents. And you can also find a direct link to that publicly accessible Google Drive folder in the description box below. Welcome, Fairchild. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So firstly, we'll go over some of our trade updates for this week, and then we'll look at those charts also in Webull. So firstly, we went long AMDY on the 10th. AMDY is the yield max on AMD. It went ex-dividend. I was going to go ex-dividend on the 12th. In the past, I believe it paid 70 or 80 cents dividend. So we wanted to get in before that ex-dividend date, collect a nice dividend. They subsequently actually announced a dividend of only 30 cents, so it wasn't as attractive. But we got in on the 10th at 10.86. As you'll see, we'll scalp that off probably when it gets into a profitable trade. Probably won't hold that long term. You can hear our previous analysis of AMDY via the link to the video in our notes. Secondly, we got stopped out of our position in ENPH. ENPH, we had sold cash secured puts against ENPH. We got assigned those cash secured puts, so we sold them after it dipped on earnings, disappointing earnings. We subsequently got assigned those cash secured puts, and then we were looking at selling covered calls against that position. We've done some analysis there. When that position finally became profitable, we put a stop in up above our cost basis. So our cost basis after getting assigned was 69.10. So we subsequently put a stop in. We eventually got stopped out on the 12th at 72.89. So we got a net profit based on that cost basis of about 5.5%. So that equates to a monthly ROI of about 5.9%. And then we'll look at doing that similarly. We could swing trade ENPH, but again, with the high PE, I would be more inclined to sell cash secured puts against it, kind of do the same wheel strategy type swing trade on ENPH going forward. Welcome, Katon. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great day. Thirdly, another yield max that we went long is we went long ULTY. So again, ULTY is a yield max ultra income strategy ETF. We've done several reviews on ULTY, so you can get more information on ULTY. We have the bonus links to the videos in our notes. We got into ULTY after the ex-dividend date, so it dipped after the ex-dividend on the 12th. So we jumped in on the 13th. Again, you'll see in our previous analysis has a tendency to bottom just after or soon after the ex-dividend date. We got in at 938. Again, this is another one, so we're not collecting that dividend for December. Not likely to hold that through the next ex-dividend date. Probably scalp that off for a small profit. It has a tendency to run up into the next ex-dividend date. And again, we'll probably scalp that off for a small profit this month. So just a quick reminder, although I don't ever recommend anyone blindly follow us into or out of trades, if it would help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, to see when we enter or exit a trade, you can get real-time notifications by joining our Patreon. Try to post those to our Patreon members as quickly as possible. Often my tendency is to be a little early on some of these trades, so often our BeachBum traders can get a better price, as you'll see on many of these trades. So you can get those notifications when we enter or exit a trade by joining our Patreon. We also have several other alerts categories, channels in our Discord with additional types of alerts available to our Patreon members that I'll quickly show you. Also, we have a video on how you can best use our trade alerts to make money trading. And you can access that video via the bonus link in the notes. So firstly, we have a Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel. I have additional price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to the Thinkorswim TOS channel. If I make a trade directly related to one of those Thinkorswim price alerts, then we'll reply in the Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel. It's a trade not directly related to a Thinkorswim alerts channel, like when we went long ULTY, when we got stopped out of the end phase, our trade in end phase, and I'll post that in the trade alerts channel. Lastly, we have another real-time alerts channel with alerts generated by our automated systems when stocks are moving up, breaking out near our price targets, support and resistance levels. And you can also get access to that real-time alerts channel, again, by joining our Discord. So again, we can see here's YCL. It's breaking out, which means the yen's going up. We've got ULTY moving back up, NEP, next tier energy breaking out. So again, another great source for shorter term traders as well as swing traders, scalp traders, day traders. You can see changes in sentiment, market reversals, also sector rotations by watching the alerts in our real-time alerts channel. Just a quick reminder too, you can also now gift Patreon memberships to others. So if you have a fellow trader that for some reason hasn't joined our Patreon and would benefit from these types of alerts or from any of our other tools and resources, our Google Sheets, etc., you can now gift Patreon memberships to them via the link in the notes. So if I quickly go to Webull and look at those trades for this week. So firstly, here's our trade on AMDY. So again, we got into AMDY before the ex-dividend date. You see it didn't really dip a whole lot on the ex-dividend date on the 12th, 30 cents or so. You did have an opportunity on the 11th to get a better price than I did. Again, we did collect that 30-cent dividend, so we'll probably scalp that off when AMD bounces back up. As you'll see, well, if we have time to talk about our Dividend Payers Google Sheet, I'll show you why I'm more apt to scalp these yield maxes than hold them long term. Again, a trade on end phase. Again, we've gotten assigned right after we had sold cash secured puts after this dip, after disappointing earnings. We got assigned as it dipped down below. We had sold them at 75. I got assigned, waited for that price to get above our cost basis, which was 69.10 or so, put a stop in, collected a nice 5% profit. You can see it looks like end phase kind of peaked out. It's kind of holding that pivot line. It did try to break 75. You can see it failed to fill that gap, and it looks like it's potentially headed back down. So another one we may rinse and repeat that selling cash secured puts, etc. on. Again, ULTY, we bought right after the ex-dividend date. So you see it paid about 71 cents. I zoom that in a little bit. So we got the little bit of a drop on the ex-dividend date. You can see it was right before it dropped on the ex-dividend. It was as high as 968. Again, the charts are Weeble on some of these yield maxes don't match the charts in Invis, so maybe we'll take a look at that one also in Invis as well. Again, another one, it has a tendency to trend up into the next ex-dividend date. We'll probably scalp that off and try to get a profit before it goes ex-dividend again. So please let me know too. I know several of our BeachBum traders also trade some of these yield maxes. So let me know if you got into AMDY, ULTY, etc. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll talk about our top swing trading stocks to watch list for this week. Okay, just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, you could still get up to 40 free fractional shares of stock by funding your account, opening and funding your account with as little as $2,000. Get 40 free fractional shares of stock worth $3,000 to $3,000. If you fund it less than $2,000, you can still get 20 free fractional shares of stock. They also offer periodic promotions, bonus interest rate, etc. To Webull users. And if you'd use our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get all their current promotions, get your fractional shares of stock, and also help support our BeachBum trading community. Also, you can now trade 24 hours a day, 5 days a week on Webull, and you can get more information about 24-hour trading in Webull. We did a quick video last week. We did some further investigation of their 24-hour trading, and we did a quick video which you can access via the link in the notes. And we also posted more information via this topic in our Discord, so you can learn more about 24-hour trading in Webull via this video and link to information in our Discord. So updates to our top swing trading stocks to watch list for this week. I moved BDRY up from our bullpen. We've had BDRY. This is again an ETF on dry bulk shipping. We looked at BDRY and also the setup and chart mill yesterday, and it looks like the setup's improving. As we'll see, it looks like it may have found some support, maybe swinging back up. So I moved that one up, put it in the game from our bullpen on the 13th. You can also track it in our ETFs Google Sheet. And again, you can hear more information about our thesis, our strategy around BDRY via the link to the bonus video in our notes. Been watching SARK, which is the leveraged inverse, leveraged short on ARK-K. Again, we saw ARK-K had an exuberant run, made a recent new 52-week high, then pulled back a little bit. We talked yesterday that if we do get the interest rate cut, if Powell comes out dovish, we might get an exuberant run in growth stocks, ARK-K type stocks, also in the IWM small caps. If we do get one of those overly exuberant reactions to the interest rate decision, we'll look to short ARK-K with SARK or short the IWM with either SRTY or you could also use TZA, and you can hear the comparison of which one is preferable, SRTY versus TZA, via the bonus link to the video in our notes. For now, I've left ULTY in our watch list, as again, it's not too far from its recent bottom, so you could probably still get a good price for ULTY when it does get up above and get profitable from our trade. We'll take that off our watch list. Again, we're already long ULTY, and again, we've got a couple videos that talk more about ULTY. Now we can watch all of our top swing trading stocks to watch list stocks in our watch list Google sheet. And again, you can get access to our watch list Google sheet by joining our Patreon. You can also watch our bullpen stocks, shopping list stocks, etc. in our watch list Google sheet. We have a whole series of videos on how you can use our watch list Google sheet to watch our top swing trading stocks to watch, how you can use the PE and ATR, how you can use our price targets, support and resistance, buy at, sell at, in our watch list Google sheet to, again, hopefully help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career. Also, if you join our Patreon, this gets regenerated at the end of each day with any updates during the day to our watch list stocks. If I do make any changes after that watch list Google Sheets initially generated, and I post that in the stocks watch list updates channel in our Discord. And again, our Patreon members have access to that. So you can see when I identified the opportunity on ULTY on the 12th, we posted that to the stocks watch list updates channel in our Discord, and then also manually updated the watch list Google sheet. And then you see we took advantage of that opportunity on the 13th. So if we look at those charts quickly in Webull, again, you can have all kinds of different watch lists in Webull. Again, for entry into SARK, I watch for the top in ARK K. So we see recently the high in ARK K was 63.59. I've probably got a alert and TOS set at that. That gets triggered again on a overly exuberant pop in the ARK K stocks, probably on the interest rate decision. Then again, we'll look to enter SARK. But again, I used ARK K as the trigger on SARK. Similarly, I've got IWM. So very similarly, if we get an overly exuberant pop in the IWM, small cap stocks, then I would look at shorting the IWM using SRTY. Here's BDRY. You can see it looks like it found some support around that 571. Bounced up a little bit. We'll see if we get a pullback or retest, if this 571 area is going to hold. If so, looks like BDRY may have found a bottom, and we'll look for a long-term swing in BDRY. It does break down below that support, then we'll just wait and see where it finally finds support, finds a bottom, and then go long BDRY for a long-term swing. Welcome, Gerald Fitz. If I missed you earlier, hope you're doing well. Again, you can watch our watch list top swing trading stocks to watch list stocks in the watch list 1 tab sheet of our watch list Google sheet. You can also see our support and resistance levels, price targets, buy at, sell at, risk reward profiles. Also get dividend information, the next ex-dividend date, dividend yield, optionality, again, PE and ATR, if applicable. These are all ETFs, so they don't have PEs, but you can use the ATR to help you set stops, take profit orders, also earnings data and links to their profiles. Let me just grab another quick drink and we'll go over our bullpens, updates to our bullpen stocks for this week. Okay, RT was mentioning one of the other yield maxes. We can maybe look at that in our dividend payers if we have time. BY yield max on Facebook. Okay, so updates to our bullpen stocks for this week. If you're new to our community, the concept of the bullpen stocks are ones that might not necessarily have the setup to satisfy our criteria for our top swing trading stocks to watch, but I've identified they may in the near future, so we put them in the bullpen and watch them. Again, in the bullpen sheet of our watch list, Google sheet. If their setup improves, then we can put them in the game and move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch, as you saw we did with BDRY on the 13th. So we've been watching AEHR test systems, semiconductor stock. It looks like the sentiment semiconductors been generally negative recently. So we've got several options for playing semiconductors that we're watching. You can hear our thesis behind AEHR via the links to several videos in our notes. I have left AMDY in our bullpen. Again, you can see AMDY dipped a little bit after we bought it. Again, AMD dipped. As you'll see in our bullpen, I'm watching if you were going to get into AMDY, I would wait for a bottom now in AMD. Again, we wanted to get in before the dividend payment, so got in a little bit early. You could probably get a better price, so I've left that in our bullpen for you for now. And again, you can access more information on AMDY via the link to the video in the notes. Talked about BDRY. We've had BITI in our bullpen for a while. We've been long BITI for quite some time, since right after the election, waiting for a bigger correction in Bitcoin. Right now it's up over 100,000. I think it's still over 100,000. Again, we'll see if we get a bigger correction. My humble opinion, as we discussed yesterday, might not happen until early next year due to the tax, capital gains tax you would incur selling your Bitcoin now. And also hear our analysis of different ways to short Bitcoin via the bonus link to the video in the notes. Also left land in our bullpen for your benefit. We went long land on December 4th. It has declined further since then. Again, we're looking for a very long-term swing trade in land, waiting for a catalyst for them to sell off some underperforming properties. So again, you can probably get a better price than we got on land if you're interested in that REIT on farmland. Again, we look at this more for price appreciation than their dividend payment, but you can track that in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet as well. Taking SLP Simulations Plus Inc. out of our bullpen, it's pretty much already run up, or it failed to come back down, so it's sitting in the low 30s. So for now, I'm going to take that off, and we'll wait for it to dip, see if we can catch a further dip. I do have the puts for it in our puts ROIC Google Sheet, so I can watch it there. If we do get a dip, then we can choose to sell puts. Actually, I have a sell on the puts sitting there, or we could choose to buy the shares to go long SLP. You can hear our thesis on SLP via the link to the bonus video in the notes. Also, a way to play a recovery in the sentiment semiconductors would be SOXL. So we're also watching SOXL, the leveraged long on semiconductors. You can hear how we trade semiconductors with SOXL and SOXS via the link to the video in the notes. I'm also watching the opportunity, and I have a sellout on the puts on SOXL. So a couple different ways, again, to trade a swing back up in semiconductors. Again, you can also watch all of our bullpen stocks in the bullpen sheet. of our watch list Google sheet. So you can see whether they're going up or down, our price targets, support and resistance, risk reward profiles, again, earnings, dividend information. You can see when they go ex-dividend, optionality, their PE. So if you want to choose a cheaper versus or a cheaper one, also ATRs to set stops and take profits. So again, we can see and trade much easier our bullpen stocks right off of our bullpen sheet, watch list Google sheet as well. Got a number of honorable mention stocks that I've identified the past couple weeks. We'll see if we have time to come back and do some quick due diligence on any of these. But if not, and I suspect not, I've got a lot to cover today. So you can see and explore some of these for yourself, some of these additional honorable mention ones. And again, I've been pushing these forward. Eventually, maybe we'll do some quick due diligence on these stocks. But you can see I look through the multiple bottoms and double bottoms and FinBiz pretty much on a daily basis, identify these as potential opportunities. And again, warranting more due diligence, but again, you can investigate those for yourself further, double bottoms, etc. And we'll come back and do some due diligence on those if and when we have time. Next, we've got our shopping list stocks. Again, we've got the big Federal Reserve interest rate decision on Wednesday. Might get a violent reaction, either up or down, but we might get a negative reaction if we don't get the cut. That's highly expected. Again, we looked at the probabilities of getting a cut in December and January, etc. yesterday. So you can go back and look at those probabilities right now. So again, if they don't cut in December, could get a very negative reaction. If Powell comes out hawkish, again, could get a pretty negative reaction. And we always recommend you have your shopping list ready to take advantage of irrational reactions to earnings, be it or interest rate decisions, other economic news, etc. Again, we recommend, although again, our content is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content is for education and hopefully some entertainment purposes only. But again, with interest rates still relatively high and high for an indeterminate amount of time, we've seen several additional companies going bankrupt, getting delisted, etc. So we recommend you stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. Also, we're right in the middle of the tax loss harvesting, tax loss selling period. So companies that are big losers for the year, big money losers in general, may be vulnerable to tax loss harvesting, now through the end of the year. If you're not aware of what that term is, how it works, how it affects money losing stocks, you can get more information on that and what the wash sale rule is via the links to the videos in our notes. If you'd like to see if a company is vulnerable to bankruptcy, further offerings, reverse splits, etc., you can do a calculation of their quarter's cash flow positive using our biotech due diligence Google sheet. And it doesn't have to be a biotech, any money losing company. You can see how many quarters before they have to raise cash again. And we've got a whole series of videos on how to trade biotechs as well, including several calculations of the quarter's cash flow positive examples. Welcome, George K. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. So again, just a quick reminder, you can also watch our shop list stocks in the shop list tab of our watch list Google sheet. So we've got a variety, some additional yield maxes, APOY, TSOY, got some for oil, dividend payer on oil, watch uranium, wheat, some REITs, STAG, O, land, some dividend payers, JEPI, JEPQ, so MP materials for rare earths, etc. So we've got a variety in our shopping list, and if those pop up, Not real apt on buying Pfizer right now. I'd love to get another block of USOI if oil dips. Again, wheat, swing that profitably as well. Okay, let me grab a drink and we're going to look at our dividend payers Google Sheet. I want to cover some new ones that people have mentioned or that have popped up in other videos, etc. First, anyone has a dividend payer you want to look at, please throw those up in the chat. We can try to take a quick look at those. Okay, in addition to our swing trading stocks, one of the strategies we also use to generate income is with dividend payers. And we use our dividend payers Google Sheet to identify dividend payers with the types of yield, risk reward profiles, the categories, the schedule of dividend payment, etc. that we would like. And again, you could do likewise, get 24/7 access to our dividend payers Google Sheet by joining our Patreon, create your own schedule of dividend payers, again, identify those that have the yield, the type of yields, potential price appreciation, payment schedule, again, dividend amount, etc., and risk reward profile that you would like. So firstly, last week we talked about TIP, Katon, Easy Mike, mentioned TIP last week, and we did a little quick due diligence on TIP and FinViz. I added it to the main sheet of our dividend payers Google Sheet, so we'll take a quick look at the dividend payer information for TIP. So again, you can do a find on any stock, any dividend payer stock in either our main dividend payers sheet or our add sheet. See if we have it. So here's TIP. Looks like it paid 19 cents on December 2nd. Looks like it's a monthly dividend payer. You can see our current calculation of net yield, adjusted yield are 6. The nominal yield is 3. See right now it's at 107. It's a 52-week low is 104. So right now the risk reward profile on TIP is pretty balanced. It looks like it's pretty, pretty stable. It's got a 52-week range, only 104 to 111, so relatively stable. It's a bond ETF. Again, we looked at it in more detail last week. See its performance for the year about 3%. So again, relatively stable. So again, I would recommend, and I'll snip out that part that where we did the previous due diligence on TIP and FinViz, etc. Put that together. I'll probably do a short video on TIP. But again, now you can track the performance of TIP in our dividend payers Google Sheet. If the risk reward becomes a little more attractive, that one might be attractive to you. But again, it looks relatively stable. It's got some potential upside. And again, right now, a nominal yield of about 3%. Current calculations of net yield and adjusted yields about 6%. So not bad, pretty stable. So I hope that all helps. The second one, just a quick note, I periodically clean up our sheets, take those out that are no longer found in FinViz. And so I took ARC out of there, just FYI. The next one I want to cover is one of our BeachBum traders asked in a comment on one of our videos for an analysis of SITC, so good vibes only 1914, said would love your analysis on SITC for a long-term swing. I saw this looks like it's a dividend payer. This is Site Centers Corp. It's a REIT. So we'll take a look at that in our Dividend Payers Google Sheet and also in FinBiz, do some quick due diligence on SITC. So again, now we've got SITC in our ad sheet. Again, Site Center Corp to REIT. See it paid 42 cents. So its nominal yields about 2%. Current calculation of net yield is about 50%. Adjusted yield 16%. So it's currently priced at 15. Got a 52-week low of 10, high of 18. So risk reward a little less than 2. Looks like it's relatively new. Right now, the risk reward profile is not terribly attractive. Looks like this pays quarterly. Performance has been very positive for the year, so almost 48% positive. So let's look at it in FinBiz. We see this huge gap up on a huge special dividend. So it paid a $48.70 special dividend on October 1st. It's like they did a split, 1-to-4 split back in August. Previously, back in July, they did a 10-cent plus a 42 cents, so about 52-cent dividend. So it looks like they have a tendency to do special dividends. So again, huge gap up on that huge special dividend, and then it's been trailing down since then. Zoom out a little bit. Looks like that's the highest it's been. So you see it gapped up above the long term, so it's the 200-month moving average, so it gapped up all the way above that. Looks like that's giving it some support. Big gap to fill. It's been way up in the 26s in the past, and as low as 3 or 4. So again, nominal yield, but only about 2%. Past trailing 12 months, 1.7. Not a lot of discrepancy between outstanding and float. Not too bad volume. So it looks like that special dividend related to a spinoff of part of its properties jumped 45%. So if we look at their definition, acquisition, development, lease, management of shopping centers. So if you like that sector, shopping centers and loan investment segments, been around quite a while. Quarterly net incomes increased nicely. EPS increased nicely past couple quarters. Look at their annual, increased nicely. EPS increased nicely, so it looks pretty attractive. Again, just very high right now due to that huge jump on that special dividend. So let's look at them in chart mill as well. So just a quick reminder, you can find links to the tools and resources we frequently use in the link section of our homepage. Our homepage is beachbumtrading.com. Without the U. So we'll go down to our links, trading tools, chart mill, look at SITC. Looks like it's saying a pretty good setup rating. Growth's a little weak. Health's about average. Profitability a little above average. Dividend above average. Look at their fundamentals. So 6 out of 10. So that's pretty good. Big dividend. Profitable. Pretty good health. Return on assets pretty good. Return on equity pretty good. Altman Z is pretty bad. So that's interesting that their Altman Z is bad. It may be due to a high debt. So let's look at their debt. It's not showing bad. So there's something with their cash flow, etc. So a little bit of a red flag. Their Altman Z score is bad. Maybe why they're selling off properties. So again, red flag. Be careful. Let's look at their technical. For 0 out of 10 right now. Says setup is bad, good setup. So again, it likes that big pop-up and then a retracement if you're looking for a support level. So it's saying the support level is about 1533 or so. So again, if you're looking to get in, you think, in the future, SITC is going to continue up. You can find those support and resistance levels also in chart mill. Again, I'd be a little concerned after that big jump up. It's trending down, got a sizable gap to fill. So again, I might, in my humble opinion, may want to wait for it to come back down, possibly fill that gap. You see before that, it was pretty much hugging its shorter term monthly average. So again, if you got in before that special dividend, congratulations. Again, it is showing a little bit more better setup right now, so it's got some potential short-term upside, but a big gap to fill down. So let me know in the comments or in the chat or in our Discord if you've ever traded SITC. What do you think of it as a REIT? Do you like the shopping center sector? Again, what's been your experience with that? What do you think of it as a dividend payer? Or again, as a potential swing trade candidate going forward. So I hope that answers your question. Good vibes only, 1914. Again, my humble opinion right now, for a long-term swing, not bad, but I would wait again for that, see if that gap fills, see if it holds that moving average. If it does and starts swinging back up, yeah, you've got some potential upside. But again, this gap, there's a significant risk as well, and it is trending down. So again, I hope that answers the question. And again, you can track the dividend payment information now in the ad sheet of our Dividend Payers Google Sheet. Last addition to our Dividend Payers Google Sheet that I want to quickly take a look at is BSM, Blackstone Minerals. This is one that was mentioned in a recent Benzinga video as a good dividend payer on minerals. So I wanted to look at the dividend payment information for BSM. So I added that one in our research sheet. You can see here's BSM, Blackstone Minerals, pays 38 cents. So it's got about 11% nominal yield. Net yield's kind of poor. Adjusted yield is about 8%. Pays quarterly. See, currently it's about 14.50. 52-week low is about 14. It's got support at 14.25. So not a whole lot of risk reward short term. 52-week, not real exciting. Bottom to top, pretty good. It's performed negatively this year, minus 8.63%. So if we take a quick look at it in FinBiz, you can see it bounced off that upper trend line, trending down. Got some support about 14.25. pays, 38 cents quarterly. It's got a nominal yield of 11%. Pretty sizable. Volumes are kind of in the middle. So we can see what let's look at longer term swings. So it looks relatively stable. Looks like it's sitting out that long-term moving average, weekly moving average, resistance from the shorter term moving average. Again, relatively high. Probably get support from that 50-month moving average. Not a whole lot of upside up to 22 or so. Significant potential downside. Bottom in 4s in 2020. It is optionable. Let's look at the definition. Manages oil and natural gas. So that's what it was. The video was talking about energy stocks and ways to profit from energy stocks, from Trump stocks. So this one, I believe, pays royalties based on oil and natural gas properties. So that was the discussion. So if you like that thesis, royalty stocks on oil and natural gas, it pays, right now, again, about 11% yield. It's $1.60 a year. Again, significant risk to the downside, some potential to the upside. And again, now you can track BSM, Blackstone Minerals in our ad sheet of our dividend payers. So again, I'd love to hear any other BeachBum traders' experience. Have you held BSM as a dividend payer? What do you think of that theme of oil and natural gas royalty companies? What's been your experience with Blackstone Minerals? What do you think of it as a dividend payer? Please put that in the comments or in our Discord, etc. If you'd like us to look at any other dividend payers, similarly, put those in the comments. Like Good Vibes did, we can add those to our dividend payers Google Sheet. If they warrant it, we'll add them to our automated systems, put them in our main sheet, and they'll get updated on a regular basis. Also with their next dividend date, next payment date, etc. So let us know if you'd like us to do research on and potentially add any other dividend payers. I'm going to jump forward and hopefully have the opportunity to come back to some enhancements that I've been working on for a dividend payers Google Sheet. But if I fail to have the time today, I'd encourage and love to hear your feedback about these enhancements to our dividend. You get a preview via the link to the copy of our dividend payers Google Sheet, where I'm working on these enhancements. And again, hopefully I'll have time to come back and discuss these in more detail today, but I want to make sure we can cover some of our other topics. So let me grab a drink and talk about our options strategies for generating income. Okay, in addition to dividend payers, we also use several option strategies to generate income. While we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up, the first is covered calls. So we sell covered calls on our stocks when they're going up, buy them back when they're coming down. And we use our covered calls Google Sheet to help us do what-if analysis on our various covered call strategies. We've got a whole series of videos on how you can use our covered calls Google Sheet to do your own what-if analysis on your covered call strategies. And again, you can get 24/7 access to our covered calls Google Sheet, as well as all of our other Google Sheets by joining our Patreon. Got a couple enhancements I want to point out to our covered calls Google Sheet. I've added a P&L column. So this is the current P&L, and we'll look at that with some examples in column S. Also a take profit price column in V, and a profit take profit column in W. So if I want to test or do a what if on a take profit order, see what my profit would be at the given price, with what's that profit. I can do that what if analysis now in our covered calls Google Sheet, as we previously added stops, and so we could do what if analysis and compare our options of, do we want to sell the covered call, do we want to take the profit at a stop, what would our profit be at a take profit order at an upper sell. Also, I added conditional formatting on the P&L column. If it's green, if it's positive, it's greater than or equal to 0. Red is probably greater than 0. Or red if it's less than 0, so we can see right quickly if our position is currently in profit. So a good example is, and this is part of the impetus for these enhancements, was we were comparing end phase. And again, in a retirement account, I can only do one or the other. I can sell the covered call, so I can have the sale out for the covered call, or I can have a stop and or take profit order, but it won't let me do both on the same position. Won't let me set a covered call and a stop as a one cancels other or a take profit. So again, if you want to compare, what's the best alternative right now? Do I want to sell covered calls? What would be my profit at break even if I sell a covered call? Where is my current profit? So at the time, my P&L for the end phase position would have been 474. So if I sell it there right now, I get 474. If I take it at a stop, I put my stop at 72.89. I get profit of 379 per contract. If I look at, okay, where's my take profit order now? What would be my profit if I put a sell at the take profit price, which would be a resistance level? I can make a decision now. Do I want to sell it now? Do I want to sell a covered call? Or do I want to wait for the take profit order? So again, now you can do that all kinds of what if analysis on various positions using. You can make a copy of our covered calls Google Sheet, do all these what if analysis. And again, if you're in a retirement account particularly, you can compare, do I want to hold the sell for the covered call, or put a stop and or take profit order at any given time, and then cancel and switch back. So you can see right now I'm doing some analysis on positions. We have positions in yen. So I'm comparing selling covered calls on our position in yen. Also, I think we're looking at selling puts on yen as well, and looking for various strategies that we can make more money on yen. Welcome to Ricky Khan, if I missed you earlier. Thank you for joining us. Also, I'd love to hear your feedback on these enhancements to our covered calls Google Sheet, and what else you all would like to see, further enhancements, what would help you make money trading your covered calls, analyzing your covered call positions. Okay, we also sell and buy back cash secured puts or put options, sell them when their stock's going down, buy them back when they're going back up. And we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to identify opportunities to sell and buy back puts. And again, you can also use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to help you make money trading puts by joining our Patreon. We'll go through some quick updates to our puts ROIC Google Sheet. pretty quickly. So I rolled all of the December 20 expirations to January 17th. So again, hit our 40-day window. So I rolled those all forward. As I just mentioned, we're also watching for puts on yen. So see if buying puts, China is very volatile up and down. So if it's trending down, might see if we can make some money, pick up additional shares of yen when it spikes down at that 18 strike price. See how that looks. Didn't add anything to the research sheet. I updated some puts in the research sheet. So Celsius looks like it found a bottom. So I'm upping that strike price from 22.50 to 25. See if that's one that we're interested in selling puts on. Again, we did some previous analysis on selling puts on Celsius, and you can hear that analysis via the bonus link to the video. CVS is continuing to decline. A lot of the drugstores are under pressure. Walgreens, I believe, was going bankrupt, being acquired. Pushing some of the other drugstores down. So I moved that strike down to 47.50. Again, you can hear our previous analysis of selling puts on CVS. Not overly excited about that one. Another one, eventually we'll come back and possibly do some due diligence on things like Schlumberger, Halliburton that we've discussed previously. Also, we've got a whole series of videos on how you can use our puts ROIC Google Sheet and other via the series, via the link in our notes. Got a whole playlist of videos on how to make money trading options that you can access. So I've got a number of sells out. I've got a sell out on AEHR at 120 at the $10 strike. Still got the sell out on Intel at 20. Again, with the VIX down, now a lot of the premiums haven't been real attractive. You can see that Intel one's almost 5%, so it's not too bad. Still got them on series. SOC sell at 25. Again, not all exciting right now. Again, we're watching UVXY. We get further declines in the VIX. Look at potentially selling puts on UVXY. And you can go through not a whole lot of other premiums, all that attractive. The CBS one needs to be updated. FMC, only about 2%. Moderna, again, we've talked about that. NEP, we've already sold a cash secured put at 17.50. Waiting for that to expire, probably worthless, or buy it back. Still watching SLP at 30. Again, I took that out of the bullpen. If it does retrace, we'll look at selling those puts potentially. I've got a sell sitting out there. So, yeah, not a whole lot else attractive. If there's anything you would like us to add to our automated systems, collect the options information, add it to our puts ROIC Google Sheet for you. Let me know the stock, the ticker symbol, the expiration dates, the strike prices, etc. And we'll add that to our automated systems. It'll collect the options data and populate our puts ROIC Google Sheet at the end of the day. And then you can track and use that to help you make money trading options, trading puts, using our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Okay, so let me take a couple minutes and at least we'll talk about this Empower. This was one that was mentioned in the chat last week. And we have done a previous look at Empower, previous discussion on Empower monolithic power systems. And you can access that previous discussion via the link in the notes. But if I go back to FinViz and we look at Empower very quickly, So we see it really dumped on earnings. So they had a probably EPS that says they beat. Revenue says they beat, so I'm guessing that was guidance. If somebody knows the reason for that big drop right on earnings, please throw that up in the chat. Again, I'm guessing it's guidance. See, PE is still pretty high. It is optionable. Not a lot of discrepancy in shares float. Pretty good volume. Pays a very small dividend. Looks like a quarterly dividend, $1.25. $1.25, but again, that's a pretty low yield. We zoom out a little bit. So yeah, big drop. So it's now, got some potential upside, 6 to 9. So 50% upside, still got, significant downside, still significantly above. It's got another $100 or so from its 200 week. Again, it's broken down below at near term, shorter term, monthly moving average, more downside to 500. Previous low, 400. So it does look like it bounced a little bit. Looks like a lot of downward pressure. See what the news was for the big drop. Risk to NVIDIA allocation. Looks like a maybe not strictly a short report, but negative report. Why it plunged. So there's several news articles you can read. Reported earnings, strong growth, outlook. Yep, fourth quarter outlook, pretty bad. And a downgrade. So again, they reported good earnings, good EPS, but guidance was negative, outlook was negative. So again, another reason we always mention guidance is important. The outlook's important going forward. And again, we see that big drop in Empower there. Look at it in chart mill real quickly as well. So setup's very positive, growth positive, health positive, valuations poor, again, high PE. Let's look at the fundamentals. Good. So health, growth, profitability, all good. Altman Z, real good. Look at their technicals. 1 out of 10. Very positive short term. So 8 out of 10 short term. So it's chart mill saying, right now is not too bad of a setup. If you're looking for a short-term swing. Yeah, let me get back to that. So yeah, it looks like it's got support around that 570. It's got a couple gaps to fill, back up. So again, maybe overly irrationally negative reaction to that outlook, to that downgrade. Might get a swing back up, gap fill. I'll have to see if it breaks that 688. Probably not one just due to the long-term, the price and the fact it's still relatively high. Not one I would pursue, but again, if you're looking for a short-term swing back up, 6 to 9, about a 50% gain. Empower looks pretty good. Just again, there's significant risk longer term, but again, the chart mill fundamentals look good. So again, that was a good one. Thank you for bringing that up again last week. Whoever mentioned it in the chat, I think several of our BeachBum traders were mentioning Empower. So I hope that all helps. So So just very quickly, I know we're running a bit long, so I'll wrap it up now. I won't go into the details of these enhancements to our dividend payers that I'm working on. But I would love your feedback if you'd look through the notes, see what these enhancements, these proposed enhancements to our dividend payers are, hopefully some improvements in how we can compare various dividend payers in terms of total return and also price appreciation. I'd love your feedback on what you think of the addition of these enhancements, these changes. And again, we've got several questions in the notes, whether I should replace some of the existing columns with new columns, some naming, etc. If you'd like to see some of the calculation columns, again, I've got that in a copy of our dividend payers Google Sheet, currently under construction, and then I'll be updating the automation to make these changes as soon as possible. So again, I'd love your feedback on what you think of these enhancements to our dividend payers Google Sheet. And again, you can put those in the comments to the video, or again, tag us in our Discord. We're BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, no other characters, symbols, etc. In the Discord. Anyone else is an imposter, please ignore and report them. But again, I'd love your feedback as I'll be working on making these enhancements and putting them in production as soon as possible. So, and if you have any other enhancements you'd like to see to our dividend payers or any of our other Google Sheets, or what else can we do to improve our weekly trading game plans, any of our other Google Sheets, tools, resources, community, etc. What can we do to continue to add more value to all of our BeachBum traders? Please let us know again in the comments in our Discord, etc. Otherwise, we hope that you like this content. Please do us a favor and smash the like button. Help us try to get the YouTube algorithm to show us some love someday and share our content with more traders. Continue to build our BeachBum trading community. We'd love to have your help with sharing our content, reposting our content, inviting other traders to join us in our Discord and our live chats, etc. Again, we really need our whole community to help us to continue to grow for the mutual benefit of all of our BeachBum traders. So, and we hope this all helps. Please let us know, provide us your feedback on what you think, what can we do better, how can we add more value. Again, we need your feedback to continue to improve. Otherwise, we hope we'll see you back next week for our weekly trading game plan for the following trading week. And good luck and have a great trading week.